Adriana de Roock is the MD at Greymatter and Finch and joins us on the Redzone with a view on why companies need to look a little more closely at financial and integrated reporting. It's an important component, Adriana, of the business space right now. Just give us the context, first of all. What exactly are we talking about here?
Okay, if you look at integrated reporting, it's twofold. One, it's a record of the past, which is your annual financial statements and how you did, and one, it's a report for the future of what you're going to do. Or shall I say, an integrated report should be that.
Give us a sense then of the impact that positive reporting in this respect has.
You can't just look at integrated reporting on its own. You've got to look at it wrapped up with investor relations, social media. So I'll give you a great example. A good couple of years ago, there was quite a couple of issues in the mining environment. The commodities took quite a hit. You know, it was Marikana time and everything going on then. Anglo American was one of the companies who came out with very bold reporting from the investor relations side, followed by and supported by the integrated report. If you go and look at data from that time, their share price took the least knock compared to their competitors.
So there's a direct correlation.
There's a huge and direct correlation. Trying to explain that, though, to a lot of corporates, if they don't see the financial connection, they sometimes don't see the value.
So is that the reluctance, that they just don't see a return on investment, or is it simply a skills deficit, perhaps, in this regard? In other words, Adriana, they don't know how to do it.
I think it's both. I think it's both. And it comes back again to the traditional role of people like the financial directors and the CEOs. They're always pressured. They're supposed to be bringing a return on investment for their shareholders. They are supposed to be running the business, expanding the business. And sometimes people don't see the value in the face of the business.
So how then do you, as an agency, go around and demonstrate the value in that respect? How do you make a compelling and strong case? Well,
we coax and advise them to say, you know, being now a good corporate citizen, which is what they're forced to be, you need to basically, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, take your clothes off.
Yes, okay.
You need to take your clothes off and bare yourself to the public, because in the absence of information, people will fill a vacuum with assumptions. And a natural behavioral response from people is it's a negative assumption. So rather go out there, talk what you're doing, and say what you're going to be. And
fair point, but there's high risk often in transparent disclosure, isn't there?
Well, that's the fear. Most companies and people are scared to commit to something because they're afraid if they don't meet those targets, they're going to look foolish or stupid or lose credibility. And the irony of it is, what we see in the industry is, if you fail and you admit you fail and you say there's a revised strategy, you're actually buying more credibility.
Where then does investor relations as a discipline fit into this component?
Investor relations is probably one of the most important faces of the company. And people also confuse investor relations, so investors with analysts, with shareholders, with all the other aspects. Investor relations is just that. The people are interested in buying the company, making it profitable, in which case it can do so much more.
And compliance reporting, another critical component.
Oh, completely. Completely. There are little grey men that will kill you if you don't do compliance reporting. JSE is rated, I think it's one of the top 3 stock exchanges in the world for its compliance. And South Africa's financial institutions are very high up there, and that's why it's a very trusted institution. And companies don't easily digress from the listings requirements, whether you're on main board or Alt-X.
Thank you very much for joining us. That's Adriana de Roock, Managing Director at the agency Greymatter and Finch.
Pleasure.